Hello and welcome to day 5 of Lifebook's 30-Day Challenge. So happy to have you here with me today as we explore one of my favorite Lifebook categories and one that's often overlooked, your intellectual life. You know, as human beings, we don't have 4 rows of razor-sharp teeth that can bite through steel. We can't see in the dark, we can't run 75 miles an hour, and we can't change the color of our skin to match our environment. We're human beings, and that means that our minds are our basic tools of survival. It's our intellectual abilities that define us as a species. Our ability to think is what keeps us alive. Everything we have in our civilization, from computers to mailboxes, from refrigerators to books, the chair you're sitting on, the clothes I'm wearing, everything was brought into existence by the process of thinking. For humans, it's all about what we have in between our ears. This is the reason we're here. But there's a very, very interesting complication to all this. Thinking is a choice. We can choose to think or not to think. We can choose to face an issue or not face it. We can choose to focus on solving a problem or just not bother. We're not obligated to monitor the beating of our hearts. That happens automatically. But when it comes to thinking, nature has given us an extraordinary responsibility. In just about any situation, we can make our consciousness brighter or dimmer. We literally have a choice to think or not to think. And choosing to think is only half the battle. The other half is choosing what to think about. What you choose to think about is incredibly important because thoughts become things. Everything starts with a thought. Every great work of art, every building, every invention, everything in our entire civilization began with a thought and was brought into existence through a process of thinking. And in exactly the same way, everything in your life began with a thought and was brought into existence by a process of thinking. Your education, which school do I want to go to? Do I even want to go to school? Your relationships, is this person really the right one for me? Your career, your level of health and fitness, the house you've chosen to live in, everything in your life. Thoughts become things. What you choose to think about expands and creates your life. What you think about manifests in your reality. We all manifest something. We are all creators of our own reality. The question is, are we creating our world consciously, or are we doing it by default? See, most people live their lives with their thoughts on autopilot, thinking just barely enough to get by. Now, they're still going to be creating their worlds through their thoughts, but if you live in a mental fog, you kind of create your world by accident. One of the most powerful single concepts that you could ever understand is this: you can take control of your thinking. You can begin thinking deliberately, guiding your thoughts and actions toward a clearly defined vision for your life. And if you do that, the things that you think about over and over are going to start to show up. Now I'd like to share a clip from the Classic Lifebook program that outlines how I view my own intellectual life. Now, everyone's stuff is going to be different, but we can learn from each other and not have to reinvent the wheel. So I want to share my values with you on my own intellectual life right now. I'd like to start by sharing my foundational beliefs with you. I've got 4 beliefs that make up the premise for my intellectual life. The first is this: my mind is my greatest asset. All my goals, all my dreams, all my aspirations rest on my ability to think in a high-quality way. So I really need to value my mind. I need to exercise it. I need to nurture it. I really need to take care of it. Here's my second belief, and this is an interesting one. The best single indicator of true intelligence is how intelligently you live your life. To me, true intelligence isn't about an IQ test. It's not about an SAT score. It's not about grades in school or anything like that. And this is the way our culture tends to view intelligence. I think it's way too narrow. What good is intelligence if you can't use it to make your life better? It doesn't matter how smart you are. If your life is a wreck, how smart are you really? Living a successful, balanced, intelligent life in our culture, that's a highly complex task, and it requires some deep thinking. When you see a person who's living that way, you can know you're looking at a great accomplishment. You're looking at a really smart person there. Here's my third belief. I can choose to think, and I can choose what to think about. Again, it's choice. It's self-responsibility, the life book mantra. Humans can choose to think or not, and I choose to think. And I also choose exactly what I want to think about. I can't control all the events in the outside world, obviously, but I can control my inner world. I can control my thinking. I can take control of that process and begin thinking deliberately and guide my thoughts toward a clearly defined image of my ideal future. I can be purposeful with my thinking, and I can manage my thoughts to create the world I want. I can build the image, the mental image of what I want. I can hold on to that image and just stay in it and think about it every day. And if I do, I know I'm going to attract that into my life. And that brings me to my next belief. What I think about, I bring about. My thoughts become things. This is called the law of attraction. I know that what I think about over and over absolutely programs itself into my nervous system. It's what I'll create. It's what I'll experience in my life. It's what I'll become. It's like magic. It's like casting a spell on myself and then sending it out to the universe. And by the way, that spell can be good or evil, so you gotta be careful. You can make yourself well with your thoughts, and you can make yourself sick with your thoughts. It just all depends on what you think about. Your life book is going to be the best tool you could ever have for activating the law of attraction and manifesting everything you want in your life. Right now, this week, you're in the process of thinking through every important area of your life, defining it, illustrating it, living with it, flooding yourself with it on a daily basis. That image is going to be so clear, so powerful, that eventually the vision and the reality are going to become one. Your mind is incredibly important. Honor it, value it, choose to think, and think about everything that's important to you. Work hard to develop your mind and let it take you where you want to go. You can use your magnificent, glorious ability to think to literally manifest everything you want in your life. Well, that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and we're going to dive deeper into how to enrich your intellectual life and use that big, beautiful brain of yours. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.